Hello and welcome to the Super Rugby Round 15 predictions brought to you by DrivingMaul. Hi, I'm Paul, the guy behind DrivingMaul, your best place for rugby opinion and predictions. And Round 15 is looking like an absolute cracker. Kicking off the weekend, we have the Crusaders versus the Hurricanes, and obviously this is basically first versus second in the table. This one should be an absolute cracker. I'll be watching this one down at the Crowded House in New Plymouth and be doing a live post-match reaction from there with David. So if you want to come down and join us and watch the game, then please do so. We'll also be taking down our mobile studio, or basically a laptop and a couple of phones, and try and do that trying that out. It'll be our first one, so hopefully it'll go well. But you can catch that on YouTube. So I'm backing the Crusaders to win this one by 3. They really need to. They've played 12, whereas Hurricanes have played 11. So if they were to lose this one, then it would mean they've lost 3 games, whereas the Hurricanes only lost 1, and they'd be in trouble of getting caught, really. So really the pressure on the Crusaders to win this one, to even things up with the Hurricanes, will still have a game in hand, and I reckon the home advantage will be enough to win that. Next up, an interesting one, the Rebels versus Sunwolves. The Sunwolves coming off the back of 2 consecutive victories. What a crazy thing to say. When we were talking earlier a couple of weeks back, we were suggesting that the Sunwolves might go through the whole season without a win. The Rebels, the guys who were flying high in the Australian Conference, but then a run of 5 losses on the bounce, really have put them in their place. A win last weekend, win week 2 weekends ago, ended that losing streak, and I'm going to back the Rebels by 3. If Genya's back, which I can't remember, I don't think he is, then that would then go up. But yeah, I think home advantage will just be enough to see off the Sunwolves there. Heading off into Saturday, then we have the Jaguares hosting the Sharks. This one is an absolute cracker. They've not played each other yet this season, so they've still got to play each other twice. And they are only 1 point apart in that tight South African conference. Sure, the Lions are 7 points ahead of the Jaguares, but they've played one more game. The Jaguares on 29 points, the Sharks on 28 points. So their 2 home and away games between these 2 sides could go a long way to deciding which of them makes it into the playoffs. And that's a crazy thought, isn't it? The Jaguares would make the playoffs in their 3rd season. And they could even top the group still if they hunt down those Lions. That tour by the Jaguares, 4 wins 2 wins in Australia, 2 wins in New Zealand, backed up by that win at home, means it's 5 wins on the trot for them. The Sharks, on the other hand, got a win over the Chiefs last weekend. Okay, fine, it was a depleted Chiefs, but you still got to beat them. Their away record, though, has been poor. 1 win away from home, and that was against the Blues up at Eden Park. Sharks, to me, being one of the most inconsistent teams and one of the most disappointing teams for the talent they've got this season. I'm back in the Jaguares to win this one by 7. Let's hope the Jaguares don't revert to their early season form, which saw them being very inconsistent at home. And they lost to the Hurricanes, they beat the Waratahs, then lost to the Reds, they then beat the Lions, they then lost to the Crusaders. It was win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. Let's hope that has gone now, and that they're on their winning form. We then head to Hamilton for the Chiefs versus the Waratahs. The Chiefs obviously coming off the back of that loss to the Sharks. The Waratahs coming off the back of their win against the Highlanders, ending that long winning streak by New Zealand teams over Australian teams. Can they go back to back? Will the Chiefs lose 2 games back to back? Losing another game would be a massive loss for the Chiefs. They're on 32 points at the moment in the sort of next best 4 teams, or next best 5 teams, to make it to get into those playoff places after the 3 conference leaders. But they need to maintain that position. They'll be looking at bouncing back now. They've got all their All Blacks back from that camp. So I'm going to back the Chiefs by 5 at home. And there has been lots of talk of there being a whole bunch of rainbow flags and things there, because obviously Flowers continued messages on social media. So it'll be interesting to see what effect that has on it as well. But there's plenty of riding on this game just from a rugby point of view, never mind all that kind of stuff. The Waratahs have been looking pretty good over the last couple of weeks, and they've also broken the hoodoo by beating the Highlanders, so they'll have plenty of self-belief. But I think away from home, a step too far for them. The Reds then host the Highlanders. Highlanders obviously coming off the back of that loss to the Waratahs. How much of a hangover will that have? How angry will they be at trying to fix wrongs, righting wrongs, all that kind of stuff? When I say righting wrongs, I mean in the result not in the fact they got the cards. The cards were definitely deserved. The Reds, on the coming off the back of 2 losses, they have been on a woeful run of form. They got those 3 wins early in the competition against the Brumbies, Bulls, and Jaguares on the trot. So 2nd, 3rd, 4th weekends, or 2nd, 3rd, 4th of their games. And we thought, hey, there's a bit of grit about this side. This side's got something about them. Since then, the only time they've beaten has been the Lions. They lost to the Sunwolves away by 35 points, and then put up a decent performance against Hurricanes last weekend, only losing by 4. So they have won 3 out of their 4 home games, so they have been better at home. The Highlanders have obviously been wobbling recently. Still, I'm going to back the Highlanders by 5 in that one. Then we head over to South Africa for the 2 games over there. The Bulls hosting the Brumbies. The Brumbies have only 3 wins this season. The Bulls looking being up and down, which is what you expect from a rebuilding season, and new coach there in Mitchell. But to me, also that early season win over the Hurricanes gave us a lot of perhaps a bit more overconfidence in where they were going to be. Still, they're only 5 points. They're only 5 points behind the Jaguares. Still all to play for in that South African conference. I think they're going to pick up a win here. I'm backing the Bulls by 7. And so the Brumbies have been poor, and I expect them to have a bad tour. So the Bulls kind of needing this one to keep pace with the Jaguares and the Sharks in that chasing down of the Lions. And they'll be asking for a favour from the Stormers, because the Stormers are hosting the Lions. Stormers on the same points as the Bulls, but these teams can't be allowing the Lions to pick up any more points and get pulled further ahead. The Stormers' home record has been extremely good. They've only lost once at home this season, and that was to the Chiefs two rounds ago. Away from home, they've not won a game all season, but at home they've been good. The Lions have only won two away games this season against the Tars. Before that, lost to the Reds, and then earlier on in the season against the Bulls. So I'm backing the. After coming home from they played the Brumbies at home, didn't they? What am I talking about? So there's no trouble in this one that's going to be involved. Still, I think the Stormers at home, that record they've had, they'll be looking at maintaining. And again, they like the Bulls, need these. It's a must-win game for them to keep pace with those other teams if they have any hope of making the playoffs. Backing the Stormers to win that one by 5. Always up for Goal Rugby chats. Please let me know your thoughts down below. Also, I will be doing live post-match reaction, as I said, to the Crusaders versus the Hurricanes. Also, I'll be doing live post-match reaction to the Jaguares versus the Sharks, and also the Chiefs versus the Waratahs. So those are the 3 games I will be doing live post-match reaction on YouTube. So hit the old subscribe down below so don't miss out on those. Thank you very much for watching. And also, if you want to sign up for the newsletter, it's in the pinned comment down below. That way you'll get an email every Thursday, which will give you a whole list of all my videos and stuff that's going on.